Hello everyone, welcome to Researcher Paradise. My name is Saurish Das, and in this video we will be discussing the difference between call ESP and jump ESP. The video has been structured in a manner that first I will explain the conceptual difference associated with call and jump and then proceed to the demonstration. The video strongly builds upon my earlier video, that is stack buffer overflow. Hence, I recommend you to first go through that video and then watch this video. Otherwise, you may face difficulties in understanding the concepts. In the previous video, we used the technique called jump ESP or a jump instruction. The jump instruction allows an exploit developer to skip sections of program and fork out to any part of the memory for the next instruction. The jump instruction doesn't use the stack. It also doesn't return to the next instruction which had to be executed after jump. Whereas in call ESP technique, a call instruction is used. The call instruction transfers the flow of the program to the procedure. It differs from a jump instruction because a call saves the return address on the stack. Thus, it uses the stack and it does return to the next instruction after call instruction, which must be executed. In the context of exploit development, with call ESP, we invoke a register with an address which directly points to our shellcode. Thus, the first byte of ESP points to the first byte of our shellcode. This leads to overwriting of EIP with address of call ESP and thus allows our shellcode to get executed. Let us now see how the two methods are implemented when we develop exploits. So here I am inside my Kali machine VM, and if you remember from the previous video, this was the fourth exploit where we included our calculator shellcode. So I have created two Python files for better understanding of the techniques. The first is exploit4.py, which consists of the jump ESP instruction from shell32.dll, and exploit4-2 means the second trick that we use, which is call ESP instruction, which is also found taken from shell32.dll. So now I first compile the exploit 4, which contains our jump ESP, and I will compile my second code also, which is containing call ESP instruction. Both my files are ready, and if we see here are two files named EasyRM 4.m3u and EasyRM4-2.m3u. These two files are generated successfully inside Kali machine. Now I go to my Windows 7 machine. Here, using my wget utility, I will get back my the m3u file from Kali. So before doing that, the shellcode is generated using MSF Venom using this command -p for selecting platform. The command is calc.exe, -f as in the file format, which is Python since we are developing an exploit in Python, -a as for architecture, which is 32-bit, and -b is for some of the bad characters which may hamper the execution of our shellcode. And my Kali box IP address is 192.168.105. So I will just type here I get my first file here. Now the second file also. Now inside Immunity, I start the application EasyRM to MP3 converter, and it has started. Now I first put the exploit which has the jump ESP instruction, and as you can see that our exploit works successfully, and we have moved to a different part of the stack which is something not following the jump instruction. Now I again restart the program inside Immunity. I close the calculator pop-up. I restart the application, and now I drag in the second file which contains our call ESP instruction, and same result obtained using call ESP instruction also. And in this case we have not exactly jumped far away from the memory where call was present. We have been to that part where after the call whatever was the next instruction after the call instruction. So that's it for demonstration. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any concerns or feedback, do share, and thank you for watching this video.